Maybe we can take him to another cleric in town?
And assuming they have that prepared,
Yep.
and they haven't spent it in all this carnage.
Yes, assuming they have it prepared, they haven't spent it at trying to assist all of the wounded from the carnage in any way, and that you could convince them somehow to spare this spell for Salvatore Crane.
Which would be a daily, by the way, because he has something to help him right now.
Yep.
Salvatore Crane!
It's very important. Trust me.
That's basically it. Like, you what?
Trust me, it's important.
It's not a witch hunt on us.
Did you hear what those adventurers, foreigners said? They want to save Salvatore Crane! Burn them!
You fools, we helped you! You killed my father! Oh, well, that's true, but...
If this started, Liam would join the crowd in hunting those guys, because I never killed any of them.
That's right.
Neither did I.
That Tempus fellow, he murdered my brother!
That's right. Fargus and Leon have the moral high ground here.
Did Fargus not kill any?
No, it was only...
I said it to you like 4 times.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yes, Fargus didn't directly kill, he just kept dodging from acid, which ended up, like, getting spewed onto peasants.
Oh, yes! Yes.
On that note, whenever Thomas thinks he has some time, he would like to go, like, apologize to the guy's family or something.
You can certainly attempt to do that when you have time.
Maybe give them some money.
Yes. Well, although an apology might not be received too well with all of the grieving.
Let's right now focus on the more important thing, which is looting. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. So do we have an agreement on what we're doing with Salvatore?
Yes.
Yeah.
Leave him under the rug.
Doesn't really seem to be any options. So.
Oh, there are always options.
Well, any good options.
There we go. I never want you as a player to feel like that you have no options.
I certainly have options. I can kill him if I want to, but...
Yep, you're the one who you're the players, you write the story. I'm here to, like, try to facilitate, like, opportunities for you to write the story. So, you have options, including things I'm sure I've never fucking considered.
Just no options that are, yeah.
Now, yes. Now, whether you like those options, I have no control. Even though I have all of the control. Okay. Then if you wish to head to Salvatore Crane's home, you certainly can. It was at one point a well-off estate. Multiple stories, clearly befitting a man who is not only an influential merchant, who owned land, as well as controlled logging operations, as well as farming, too, within the region. Which, by the way, his entire, like, failure and imprisonment has completely destabilized that shit, too. Like, he owned the land under several properties here within Foghaven, like houses and stuff. And come to think of it, you really don't know of any heirs he had, so... That's a thing. The fact that he's been discredited... disgraced, it might become, integrated back into Foghaven, yeah. And an influential merchant who did control quite a bit of trade, along with other merchants who were also jailed and are now clearly dead. At any rate, this home, it was once all of those things. Opulent, grand, showcasing wealth, got statues, effigies to, Salvatore Crane, and then, like, his father, and then, like, his grandfather. Yeah, those statues are kind of wrecked. Come to think of it, the house looks a bit run down, as if a lot of people at some point trampled through it, and took the things from the house, and took them outside the house, where they were then taken wherever things go after they're taken from this asshole's house, which is elsewhere through the town.
Clearly to the market to sell for half price.
Perhaps. Or in the case of Carmilla Cabot, given back to her. This house is fucking wrecked. It's probably amazing that it hasn't been torched, actually, come to think of it. At one point, there might have been a guard who stood here at the front door, but this place has been left behind because it doesn't seem like there's anything left to loot here. This once beautiful estate with, you can see the markings where desks were and where portraits were, where a statue once stood, and where that glorious bed, like an actual bed, you know, with posts, like a mattress of sorts. That was a thing. And a mirror. That was pretty cool. Like this nice kitchen. The food's gone. You know, lovely study area. The books, they've either been taken or trampled on, ripped to pieces, set on fire. Nice fireplace full of ashes, probably of the books. Staircase has so many markings of mud on it and scratch marks from furniture that was moved down it. Yep, looks pretty fucking awesome. You're here now. What would you like to do?
Look for documents. I'm not sure if looters would be interested in those, but we certainly are.
Okay.
Well,
Fargus
definitely
doesn't
check the
know.
study for the trampled documents, then probably be the smart case.
Yeah.
Tempus is actually going to make sure he takes the time to measure the size of the walls and the size of the rooms to look for secret rooms or areas. If he's a merchant and he's that wealthy, he's going to either have a safe room or a hidden room with some things in it. Especially with the amount of dastardly plans that he's had, there surely is a secret room somewhere. And that's what Tempus will be taking the time to do.
And like hidden safes and things like that.
Oh yeah, he's checking behind all of the panels, because there's no paintings on the wall. They're all gone.
All right. The same check, then, which you used to look for secret doors, and of course you didn't get too far into looking for those before, you know, you were stopped down there in the jail. But go ahead and do that now. You're a survivor of the Dwarven Games, plus your
so
wisdom.
He'll
plus
be using his
level.
initiative to figure out, it's like, okay, so that wall's about that size. Sounds about right. I'd hide there. Let's check there.
Okay.
So he's using his wit for that. He's got a 5 for his background, 3 for wit, 3 for level.
All right. Any other ideas from you other players on what you'd like to do? Like, just initial ideas before I tell you what you might find in the study and what Tempus
Well,
might find.
Well, Leon's idea is, this place at this point, it's kind of like a ruin at this point. And Leon has searched through ruins before trying to, find, even just the smallest tidbit of information, of lore, for things he can report back, during his times at the Order of the Twilight Crossing. While it's not exactly, an ancient dungeon of mystical lore, it's, it's a ruined manor with possibly criminal lore, which, it's close enough. So he wants to, try systematically searching desks, searching all the obscure locations, but he's just searching the rooms head to toe for whatever he can find.
Okay.
If that seems good.
Sure, you can do that.
What would you say for ability modifier?
Intelligence?
Okay. Nope.
Okay. I'll have that in mind. Anything else?
Yes. Fargus would like to search the basement if there is any.
There is a basement for this particular house, yes.
Yeah, alright. So, Fargus sort of sees Salvatore Crane as a slimy git, and he will certainly have a secret entrance through the basement to sneak out. And so he will search through the basement for a secret passage, or anything else interesting he can find.
Okay. Fargus doesn't have a detect secret doors background, does he?
No.
I didn't think so. Just use your wisdom modifier and your level for that, then.
Yeah.
I mean, you helped Dwohurim find stuff in the records room. I just wanted to check to make sure.
Yeah, I did, but yeah, somehow.
Yes, somehow. the luck prevailed.
Yeah.
Okay.
A leaf fell in the right spot.
All right. The study, as well as pretty much every other room, has been roughshod. Papers that do exist have been trampled over and so thoroughly, coated in mud or scratches and tears, that they're too difficult to decipher in their nature. That being said, Tempus does manage to find a secret alcove. And it's actually whenever he steps down back into the basement to check things, and Fargus is there, a secret alcove accessible by say, like, a switch on, like, a bookshelf that is empty but remained intact. You know, tilt the shelf a little bit, and as it turns out, it actually slides open a panel, revealing a small room, in which a few things are immediately clear. One, either Salvatore had an avid interest in it, or he was a practitioner of necromancy. Because the arcane reagents that he has here, and there's enough ritual components to perform a ritual here, as well as the few books he has, notes a clear market interest in not just arcana, but necromancy as well. So there's that. You also do end up finding a secret passage of sorts, which leads out, and basically it doesn't go out too far, it's like to a well in the backyard of his house. And it leads out, basically, to beneath there. The well's empty, you climb a rope, you get out in his backyard. There is also, by the looks of things, let me check. Okay. You find a total of 145 gold pieces. Basically,
okay.
like, secretly stashed away.
Right. Can the sort of reagents be used for anything else rather than necromancy?
Yeah, you could you could utilize them for any ritual that you do.
So it's in a general assortment, but only enough for one ritual with all of them combined.
It's a general assortment of components that would be suitable for one ritual. No bonuses to it, but it would prevent you from having to look for them or buy them yourself.
Well, Leon will stash those.
Yep.
I'm the ritual caster.
Yeah. Fargus will sort of take the other necromantic stuff, so books and stuff like that.
Looking at the necromantic books, what level are we looking at there? Are they like, you know, not metagame. I'm not talking about metagame level. I mean, is it like basic beginner stuff, or is it like really, really deep?
How to necromancy for dummies.
That would necessitate another skill check from you, an intelligence-based one, using, what background do you think would be appropriate?
My forbidden law of Order of the Twilight Cross.
Sure, you could use that with intelligence and level. Well...
Leon has studied undead.
Well, this isn't rudimentary like necromancy for dummies, but it isn't too advanced as well. Perhaps a comparable in necromancy with your own capabilities.
But not much. But, you know, I get an idea.
Enough to summon zombie horses?
Sure, you could summon undead with that. And they were clearly summoned. Like, when you killed them, they fucking, like, disappeared into, like, sparkles and shit. So yeah, it's no necromancy for dummies, but he also doesn't have a doctorate thesis on the subject either.
If you had a thesis, I'd be worried.
How to create Dracolich.
Well, that's
Son of a bitch! To Dragon Hall! We must enlist the aid of the three!
That'll be the day for sheep when we go to Dragon Hall for that.
It would be.
But we
Sheep gives a wistful sigh as he thinks to that future.
So we find evidence that he has a secret room, he has a necromancy practice room, but nothing, well, more just evidence that he's a crazy loony that just is the devastation of the town.
Maybe not crazy loony, but suggestions that he can practice necromancy, that he has a secret exit, and then the stash of gold pieces. You don't find, like, notes, not with you looking in this room, that lead to suggest, like, secret, like, letters, like a map of, this is where I hang out in my off time, you know? A big giant circle. Here by Full Catch Bay.
X marks the spot.
Yeah. But come to think of it, you folks, you know, when you have, like, your little private areas, like, Tempus doesn't have a map for every little fucking nook and cranny that he's visited over, like, his life.
Wow.
Yeah.
You say that.
As a matter of fact, I do. Turns out his entire body is covered with like tattoos, like with all these little maps.
Have you guys ever seen Prison Break? Well.
Now I'm thinking to Gryph, now I'm imagining like Tempus like engraving like his gears with like the maps of where he's been.
Exactly. You guys don't do that?
We don't have gears.
See, easy problem. You need to look into that.
I'm sure we do.
I'm quite happy with my natural body, thank you.
I can replace it, make it more efficient.
No.
Spell secret notes, walks out the room. There's nothing else we find in the building.
Not with what you've done thus far.
So, can we check other rooms then? What
Okay.
other rooms are there?
So the interesting room was like the study that has the notes from.
Tempus has scoped the entire fucking house with like what he did, and so did Dark. Like what I've given you is an interpretation of your skill checks.
Yeah.
So what we looked for in terms of documents were basically letters saying "Dear Revinger" and things like that.
You did not find anything like that. No. Like
No incriminating documents.
like the study is pretty much empty. Like any sort of like paper you find is either like immaterial to what you're looking for. Like here's a grocery list, you know, or it's been so thoroughly like caked and stomped or like torn that it's simply impossible to read. Like the paper's been ruined by all these fucking peasants and like movers trampling through the house, who did not care about such details.
Tempus, actually, you know what? He's going to be curious. He's going to have a look around to see if he noticed any of the sort of engravings of heavy furniture moving. We're talking the stuff that leaves marks if it's sitting for too long, let alone being dragged. So he's looking for very heavy puncture marks on the floor from it. You know, like if you have a bed and you move it, you see the indentations in the floor.
Yeah,
but you've not.
Yeah, there's no need for a skill check. His master bed is gone. Like that was like a 4-post mattress bed. Not there anymore.
And Tempest tries to measure out. He's trying to picture how the rooms looked beforehand, just to having an idea.
There's a number of chairs as well as like a few like shelves, statues that used to be there. You can take a look at that using the skill check that you've made prior, though, looking for like secret panels in apartments. Though you wouldn't find anything.
He's getting an idea. He's actually, this is the intriguing part. He's looking around, more an idea to get an idea of what to look for, perhaps in a bit. Like he might go down the streets following the advice that he's done to find maybe a few of the back market dealers and pawnbrokers that might have tried to sell the pieces of equipment on, you know, the sort of the back market, trying to get a good, cheap few coins for some quite lavish pieces of furniture.
Okay.
Under the guise that maybe they were stashed, you know, some people like to stash money under their bed or in the mattresses, or there's a secret compartment in that chest of drawers.
All right.
So he's logging that in his head and trying to keep an idea of what the pieces of furniture.
What background do you think is appropriate to attempt that?
Well, what he'd need to do is he'd need to convince the pawnbrokers to let him look over the pieces of equipment first before he'd go. Because I imagine there's not going to be that many pawnbrokers in the city.
No,
and
Foghaven, is not that large of a town.
Yeah. And I imagine suddenly very valuable pieces of furniture popping up are going to be kind of easy to notice.
It is known that Salvatore Crane and other merchants have been very villainous, and their houses may or may not have been ransacked by the people. Okay.
So Tempus, he'll talk to his colleagues, but he'll actually want to. That's what he'll take the time to do, is to count it, because he's satisfied that he's found the secret rooms. With that stuff that he's found, he believes there's no more there. So he's thinking that maybe in the furniture there might be something. So he's going to then, after talking with his colleagues, he's going to actually leave to convince the pawnbrokers to let him check over the equipment first. You know, he doesn't want to buy a piece of furniture before he knows what's in it. He wants to check it thoroughly. I mean, these have been roughhoused. You can tell by the scratches on them. So he will, investigate it, and during his investigation, he will look for secret panels and stuff. He'll open up the drawers. He'll feel under the tops of the drawer underneath, kind of thing. He will do those kinds of checks by convincing the pawnbrokers to let him do that. You go, no. I want the price down, or you let me check it. I want to pay. I'll pay half price for this, or you'll pay full price and you'll let me check it. And of course, when he checks it, you'll find something totally horrible about it, like a structural flaw that makes, why are you planning on selling us? No, and they'll walk out, kind of thing.
All right.
Or check the next piece.
All right. So Trickster of the Dice using your Charisma modifier and level?
Yes, because he'd be talking to them.
Okay. You can roll that. We'll resolve that in a bit.
Okay. Plus 3 plus 3 plus 3.
Okay. Are there any other actions which the player characters wish to attempt in Salvatore Crane's home?
Well, depends on a number of things. The documents we found, I mean, they might have seemed irrelevant, but was there anything like poems or something, just stories that might have potentially been like coded messages or something like that?
All right. What sort of background does Thomas have which would allow him to attempt to decipher encoded, like I don't think that's something that he did as a guard, like look at like cryptography and go, I think this asshole meant this.
No, not really, but maybe he's like seen evidence on some bandit people before, like other poems that were in fact coded messages, and maybe he remembers a thing or two.
I will allow you to use half of your guard background with an intelligence modifier for a skill check.
All right, let's see if this poem is actually a poem. Yes, it is.
It's a really bad fucking poem.
Oh.
Like, perhaps Salvatore Crane was, thought too highly of himself, and there's a lot of references to how great and amazing that he is. Rather than anything, like, meritorious. Unless, like, this is secretly coded messages for the Ravinger, in which keeps flaunting how awesome, like, Salvatore is. You don't think there's anything of merit there.
You're the kind of person to rhyme fame with crane.
Yes. Bad rhymes like that, like, make you groan. It's no wonder the peasants left this shit behind. They can't even read anyway, but if they could. But I do like the idea, at least.
Yeah, Fargus isn't that good at searching for houses, so unless anyone has any objections, he will go back and actually guard Salvatore.
You can guard Salvatore.
Alright, then he will do that.
Thomas will come with you, I guess.
Alright.
Leon will first one, give the house. He looked over it physically. It's clear he was practicing necromancy. Is there an odd chance that there's some other kind of magic maybe somewhere in the house? Low chance, but possible. So Leon just kind of wants to run through the house, kind of just like searching for magic auras, just trying to see if he can feel anything. Yeah.
You can use your magical background combined with a charisma modifier and level.
Sure.
Okay. Well, the little secret room there does not appear to have been false. There's slight residue of necromancy, which has been practiced throughout the entire house. And come to think of it, in closer thought and analysis, it's a same bit of residue that you didn't really realize that you had felt, but you noticed it, like you're connecting it now on Salvatore Crane himself. It is clear that he is capable of casting necromancy spells.
Those so we got attacked by those undead hounds.
Yeah. There's nothing in the books about how to create lichhound.txt.
Would it be something which I think with his, would it be conceivable that he could, with what kind of materials he has in there, though, that is something he could have summoned?
You don't think so, no.
Okay.
That and you don't really know of any summoned lichhound spells. Like, they, as far as you're aware, they're created. They're not summoned.
Okay. In that case, Tempest is having fun. After the search is done, I will join the others at Prison HQ.
Okay, Tempus.
Mm-hmm.
For the low price, which may have been inflated, of 15 gold pieces, you are welcome to take this desk off this pawnbroker's hands. Rather nice looking desk, all things considered. It is most certainly a desk which you think has been dragged from Salvatore Crane's home. He's not gonna let you inspect it, like feel up on it, because you might scratch it and ruin it.
But he can see it. Like the desk is visible.
Yes, the
It's
desk
not a
is
case-
visible. Like, you
Okay.
can see it right there in front of you, and you're pretty sure it matches with whatever was left of the furniture. 15 gold pieces, you can take it and do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Tempest will chew over. This shopkeeper was a hard, dark bargain. He slipped up in a couple of his words, and he knows he did. And he's biting he's biting his like tongue and his teeth, and he's like, "Ugh. You've got a deal."
Alright. You can take the desk. Tempus has gained one fancy-looking desk.
Is it oaken pine?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Tempest
It
will.
is desk colored.
Tempest
Desk
will
colored
go
has a
and-
desk shape to it.
and
Feels like a
he'll-
desk.
He'll go up to it now that he owns it, you know,
Mhm.
since he can do whatever hell he wants with it. And he'll start checking it over now in the shop. Under the guise that if he's taking too much time, he's like, I'm trying to figure out how to carry this without destroying it.
Well,
If he gets asked.
there's no need for another roll on this. Tempus will find a secret panel, sort of like at the bottom of the desk, which he can flip open, revealing a folder of sorts. Not exactly like a manila envelope or anything, or like folders as we know them, but like a container which holds a number of letters, which appears to, at least through the penmanship that the group has been seen before, written with rather flourishing, and rather stylized handwriting. Basically, especially as they're addressed, like with like Rav at the end of them, and seeing the prior handwriting seems to be the Whispering Ravinger's handwriting. It's basically like a list of like updates over the past, say, 4 months, really, of the proceedings and how much various merchants owe and how many bandits will be staying with Salvatore Crane on his various properties this week or this month, and to make sure that Salvatore Crane looks the other way. So you find a collection of very damning letters written by who you pretty confident is Whispering Ravinger to Salvatore Crane.
And Tempest will just he'll sit and he'll look through. He'll actually have kept the letters. He'll have stashed it away, and then he'll have shuffled the desk out and maybe looked at it and thought, okay, 15 gold pieces for the damning evidence. He'll take it down an alleyway, maybe snap off his legs, just being very brutal with the thing just to see if there's any more secrets in it,
Okay.
and maybe then throw it in the nearest sort of trash pile.
Sure. There is nothing else that Tempest finds other than splinters.
And Tempest will go. He'll walk past. I guess he'll take a detour past Salvatore's home, not see anyone in it, and then go back to the. Well, I guess he's thinking thinking Tempest. He'll probably go back to the prisons, and if his colleagues are not there, he'll go back to the inn.
Well, as it turns out, there are people who are there at the jail waiting for Tempest.
Okay.
PCs, not NPCs.
It's like, by the way, we saw what you did to that desk. You're with us. No littering.
God damn it! They take you to the jail, it's still full of, like, dead people and blood. Oh.
Foghaven is the kind of town where littering is a death penalty.
Alright, well, okay. So we're back with Salvatore then, and Tempest will show the letters, or he'll actually finally be able to read the letters and pass them around to people to have a look over.
Alright. So, how much time are we gonna spend here?
We either wait for Salvatore to wake up. We've got the evidence that damns him. We can always give it to Ursula and just use it on. Or we keep it until he's well enough for the trial and we go and deal with Ravinger, which is my choice. I want to go and deal with her.
There will be no trial. There is no trial of Salvatore Crane. He's already been found guilty of everything.
Sorry, I meant his execution, basically.
He won't be executed either. As noted in the group chat a few days back, he's going to be shipped off to an incarceration facility, basically. He's going to be kept alive so that he can suffer every day that's remaining of his life.
That's pretty good.
No mercy.